What's going on YouTube? It's everybody's favorite Dead channel back with another video where we're analyzing world record runs. Again, I just want to say that the support on this series of videos has been nothing short of amazing. I wasn't expecting the last video to do so well, and it was one of my best videos in recent memory in terms of like first day views. It seems like y'all are really enjoying this series, and these videos will continue to come, so make sure you show your love for this series. And if you're new to my channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, as I will be continuing to cover world record runs from zombies every week on my channel. Just looking at the analytics from the last video, it seems we have 500 new subs from that last world record run video. So if you're from that video, be sure to say what's up in the comments. We're happy to have you on the channel, and be sure to stick around because there's some amazing content coming. Today we're going to be looking at world record runs on Shi No Numa, and we'll be digging into some of the strategies players are using to reach insanely high rounds, and hopefully along the way pick up a few tips and insights that will then in turn turn us into better zombie players. Let's jump into it. So the first run we should cover is probably the most famous run on Shi No Numa, and potentially the most famous world record run in all of zombies. This is Instakiller's record-setting World at War Shi No Numa run of 9,072. It's not only the World at War Shi No Numa world record, but it's also the all-time record for highest round ever achieved in a game of zombies. And I've talked about this run a bit on my channel already, so I don't want to dive into this too much, but I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on what is arguably the greatest run in all of zombies. So this run is only possible because Shi No Numa is like a perfect storm for high rounds. I've talked about this in my video, but in Shi No Numa you have 24 zombies per round, you have the Wunderwaffe, you have traps, you have open space to train, and you have insta-kill rounds. With all that blended together, you get Shi No Numa, which broke high round runs. And it basically turned Shi No Numa into a game of one-upmanship. 9,072 is impressive, but as far as difficulty goes, it's actually not that difficult of a run. It's more a matter of patience rather than skill. I remember when I first was exposed to such insanely high round runs on Shi No Numa, it was when round 1337 was achieved, and since then it's just kind of exploded. The door is wide open, and I wouldn't be shocked if any day now we'll see somebody break into the 10,000 barrier on Shi No Numa. This specific run, though, took 88 hours, and this means that when you do the math, each run broke down into a little bit over 30 seconds, which is actually insane. He's flying through the rounds to go 30 seconds per round. As for strategy, he's basically just hanging out by the flogger, killing zombies during insta-kill rounds, and this is after all the most open spot to train. When it's not an insta-kill round, all he'll do is just hang out in the open area for a little bit to make most of the spawns stick to this side. Then, once he's sure it's not an insta-kill round, he'll run to the other side of the flogger and turn it on. From there, a majority of the zombies will get killed by the flogger, and any stragglers that jump in through that window can simply be killed with the Wunderwaffe. This is a pretty easy strategy, and what he's doing by sticking onto the far side closest to the perk machine is manipulating the spawns. He's forcing the spawns to be on that side of the flogger, so that way when he pulls the trap, most of them get killed by it. It's a way to be efficient. However, he doesn't need to necessarily be super efficient during this run because he does have the advantage of dog rounds. So he's guaranteed a max ammo every 5 rounds, and when you have a Wunderwaffe with 15 shots and you can go through a round in about 2 to 3 shots, you should in theory get through the round without ever needing ammo, but it's a nice way to be efficient by manipulating the spawns and then using the flogger. Now, the way the most famous run in all of zombies ended is quite strange. It seems like he just had a complete lapse of judgment. It was an insta-kill round, and the World at War zombies are weirdly sticky. Like when they hit you, they almost pull you in as if they have a gravity. So I think he just got hit, it was slightly difficult to get away, and then he went down. It was a weird lapse of judgment. That's my only possible explanation for how this run could have ended, and had he kept going, he could have easily made it to 10,000. And it's almost an anomaly, but that is how the run of 9,072, the highest round in all of zombies, was achieved. The next run I want to take a look at is this Black Ops Shi No Numa record set by Adopted, in which he managed to make it to round 202. And I know this might be a controversial statement, but I almost feel like this run is just as impressive as the round 9,072 run. This is because this game ended up lasting as long as 84 hours in total. So he survived in Shi No Numa for nearly just as long as Insta-Killer. And the game only ended because it crashed. It wasn't like he died. And it's wild to think that in 88 hours on World at War in Shi No Numa, you can get to around 9,072. In Black Ops 1, if you play for 88 hours straight, the best you'll get is around 202, roughly. It's kind of wild to think that's how it works out. Now, of course, there are differences between the Shi No Numa version and the Black Ops version. In Shi No Numa, you have 24 zombies per round, but it's easier to go down because the zombies, like I said, have a bit of gravity to them, and you also don't have quick revive. That's a hell of a luxury in Black Ops, but you gotta think that they survived for just as long in very similar maps, and had it been Shi No Numa instead of Black Ops, you know, Adopted might hold the world record for Shi No Numa. So I think this is just as impressive a run in terms of longevity. When it comes to strategy, I gotta admit it's a relatively difficult strategy to analyze. Not because the strategy is difficult, but because I couldn't find the full game online. I did manage to find a couple montages, and he does actually have some really interesting clips, some really cool recoveries during his game, but I wasn't able to nail down a full strategy. On an insta-kill round, I know one of the things he'll do is camp by the zipline. This is actually a really clever place to camp, and it's nice is that you get all the zombies kind of funneling towards you. You'll either get the zombies coming from the window or the staircase, and you can mow them down, and if you ever need to escape, you can quickly just take the zipline, and that's actually a really clever idea. Now, on the non-insta-kill rounds, it seems he's just simply training and getting kills with the flogger and using the Wunderwaffe. I'd imagine, though, that because the rounds are so long, you kind of want to save Wunderwaffe ammo as a get-out-of-jail-free card, so a majority of the kills are probably done with either traps like the flogger or the electric traps, but he's purely just training and trying to kill as many zombies as quickly as possible during a non-insta-kill round. That, though, is how Adopted was able to make it to round 202 on Shi No Numa. The last strategy I want to show off to you guys is this round 174 run by Winchester 6 TEM on Black Ops 3. Now, unlike previous runs we've looked at so far in this series, this run will actually be different because there are no insta-kill rounds. You know, when you have the luxury of insta-kill rounds, it really opens up the door for high round runs. However, Black Ops 3, you don't have that. What you do have instead are OP Gobblegums and Double Pack-a-Punch, which definitely reopen the door for high round runs. You'll find, for example, in the original Black Ops, it's really a grind during a high round run until you reach round 163 and it becomes insta-kill rounds. Until then, though, you just have to play zombies by killing them with traps. Rounds take forever. They could take hours on end, and it speeds up a little once you get the luxury of insta-kill rounds. Now, in Black Ops 3, there should theoretically always be a viable way to kill the zombies, which is nice, whether that be traps, using, say, something like the Double Pack-a-Punch, or when you use a lot of Gobblegums. Now, for his strategy, he's actually just running an arc around the mystery box room. He keeps the stairwell closed as well as the door to the swampy area, what I believe is the doctor's quarters, and this is all about limiting spawn points. He doesn't need to worry about zombies coming from those two doors, and so what he does is just need to worry about zombies coming from the other entrances in this room and that little back corner hallway where there's a window. This gives him enough room to kind of run an arc-shaped train, and with that arc-shaped train, all the zombies will pile in around him, and if he needs a safe place to retreat, he can generally find one. This is all about controlling spawn points right here, this train right here. He's keeping those doors specifically shut, allowing the zombies to funnel in a way that's predictable and controlled. If you were to train, say, in a different part of the map, maybe by the flogger, sure, it's much more open and you have a little bit more room to work, but the zombie spawns are relatively random and things are unpredictable. When you introduce a level of unpredictableness into your zombies run, then you could potentially go down at any moment. But when you control the situation and you understand where the zombies are going to come from at all times and they're only going to come from those areas, it's a lot easier to do the same actions over and over and over, which is the key to these high round runs. It's consistency. It's about being able to perform the same moves for several hours on end in an effort to not go down. And when it's time to kill the zombies and all of them are trained in, what he does is use things like dead wire, turned, or his Wunderwaffe. He also has gobblegums, and sometimes he'll even get a death machine. And when he gets a death machine, he'll simply camp by the staircase. And it's insane when you're at a round like this and the zombies are spawning in really quickly and you can mow them down with the death machine. It's incredible the way he can just plow through zombies. That's the fun part of Black Ops 3 high round runs. You can kind of break up the monotony of just training, killing with trap, training, killing with trap. You have gobblegums, double pack-a-punch. Sometimes you can get death machines, and no matter what, it's going to be game over for zombies, which is why Black Ops 3 high round runs can get really interesting compared to the Black Ops ones. With the gobblegums, it opens up all new doors for strategies. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the world record runs on Shi No Numa. If you enjoyed this video, maybe give it a like, possibly subscribe for more. We're going to be continuing to cover the world record runs in Call of Duty Zombies. Next video, we'll be looking at some of the world record runs on Deriz and potentially the Giant as well. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see that, be sure to subscribe and stick around for more. And I want to again give a shout out to all the people who are new to this channel from the Verrückt video. Shout out to that 500 or so that subscribed from that video. You guys are incredible. I'm going to go. Have a wonderful day, and bye.